Hello, how is it going, Grease Monkeys? Welcome back to another Grease Monkey 1314 live stream on Gran Turismo. Today we are doing something not super different to what we're normally doing. We are, instead of doing what we have been doing the past couple of weeks, we are doing something other than the Manufacturers World Series. We are doing just simple online lobbies, improving our driver rating. Because in these lobbies, which as I mentioned before, if you are a regular viewer you will know what I am talking about, we are currently competing in something called the Gran Turismo World Series, which is more commonly known as the Manufacturers Cup. In the series we race in a couple of different races over a few weeks, and in each race you compete to gain as many points as you possibly can. Now, in these lobbies, these points are heavily dictated by one factor: that online Gran Turismo racing would not be able to survive without the feature of driver ratings. Now, these driver ratings, what they do, they range from S tier, which is the hardest to get, and E tier, which is your beginning rating. Now, these tiers, they dictate what lobbies you go into, who you race against, and how many rewards, or what the value of each reward is in each Manufacturers or Nations Cup. Now, we are currently sitting in a low B rating, which was a high B before we got into the series, but with a series of dramatic races and anticlimactic finishes, we ended up going down to a low B rating. So what we're doing today is, because I want to get as many points as possible in this season and ideally finish in the top 200, I need to get more points. But currently my lobbies only compete for 85 points at max with a win. Now this week's daily races, I've just seen this now, Brazil Interlagos and Japan Suzuka. And I believe that is the Barcelona Rallycross Challenge, which is an interesting race. That is a very interesting track. There is no driver rating and safety rating update, so I don't think we'll be doing that. But Group 3 around Autodrome Interlagos and Group 2 around Suzuka. Group 2, okay, that's very interesting. Specify car, which car is it? It's the GT500 series. Okay, so that could be very interesting and be very good for our driver rating. Excuse me. There is 6 times tyre wear on 10 laps with a medium usable tyre. I don't believe there is a mandatory pit stop. No, there is. There is a mandatory pit stop. So with that tyre wear, we might need to pit if we do that one. We do have a GTR, so that's probably the vehicle that I'm going to go for. Which I don't have in a Grease Monkey livery, as you may have seen from the absolutely epic livery on that Audi R8 to start the stream off, courtesy of one of my regular viewers, Aussie Pug. Thank you very much, I very much appreciate it. But Interlagos could definitely be a race that we'll do. It is on the hard tyre and is only 5 laps, however this does not affect your driver rating anywhere near as much as Daily Race C normally does. So we're just going to be chipping away trying to get as many points as we can and get as many high finishes as possible. We're, okay, no, never mind, a low mid B rating, which kind of fits the standard for where we're qualifying in each race on the Manufacturers Cup. So as I mentioned before, I do want to finish in the top 200 in my region. I'm currently sitting in 354th out of, I believe, 2,000. So not a bad rating for what it is at the moment. We are in the top 25%. However, I was looking at the points the other day, and if we get about 60 points, we should be able to be in, above 70 points in the next race. We should be able to finish in the top 300, or at least get to the top 300. So I want to get some higher driver rating points and be able to compete for higher, faster lobbies and get more points out of it. The other thing with doing driver rating is it's great practice and helps you familiarize yourself with your vehicle, which is why I want to do the Group 3 race in this R8, because I really started to get the hang of it when we raced around Nürburgring last. But it was only towards the end of the night that I really started to understand how the car gets driven. I've done a couple of races with this car, so you kind of expect me to be in a rhythm now, but I watched a couple of replays just before doing the Nürburgring and Deep Forest, which kind of gave me a hint at how I'm meant to use the vehicle and the gearing ratios around each corner. So I'm going to get a little bit of practice. Interlagos might be a little bit of a fast web track, given that we're practicing for Spa on Wednesday. But either way, we're just going to jump in and see what we do. I mean, there's not. I was going to say there's nothing that can go wrong, but a lot can go wrong. This is racing, although this is a track that I am somewhat familiar with, so I don't have very low hopes. Now, looking at the leaderboard just before we go in, the fastest time in the world at the moment, which take with a grain of salt because it is only Monday, so they've only just refreshed today. The highest lap at the moment is a 1:32.3, which I don't believe to be a super blisteringly fast lap, given that these are all names I'm not very familiar with. However, they're not really doing the Manufacturers Cup, so that could be why I'm not seeing them very much. But it looks like maybe a 1:34 or a 1:35 may be our benchmark for this race. I'm not entirely sure. I just want to go down to the track, see what we can do, and see how bad this car handles these tight winding hairpins. But either way, like I said just before, this is also just good practice to get familiar with the car and get prepped for the race in 2 days. But without further ado, let's get down to the track and I'll stop yapping about everything in the game you guys don't want to hear about. My chair's a touch too close to the wheel. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's see how that goes. Get comfy, yep. So, probably going to move under braking. Right, that corner's tight. Right, just a sighting note to start off with. I haven't touched this track. I know the car, but this track is a little bit different. Slowed down a little too late there. That's right. I need to stop treating this like it's a first lap wonder. Oh, that's right. Second gear, it really grabs the rear wheels. Okay. That's fine. We've at least done our first lap, so we'll keep going round. Probably should have done a bit of practice before jumping straight into a race, which is in 5 minutes. Let's see if we learned a thing or two. A little too hard on the brakes there. Yeah, okay, instead of messing around with that, let's just restart. We've got to get this first corner sorted out. I mean, we're not going to get high points by any stretch of the imagination if we keep performing like this. But at the same time, that was only my second lap today. Could have done that a bit better. I don't need to break that over from the 100 board, but that's alright. Good luck. Okay, that was a bit better. We kept it on the track the whole way around, so that's good. Oh, you know what? That's not too far off the benchmark I said I wanted to aim for a third lap. Didn't need to miss the gear shift there. Alright, for the first session of the day, not terrible. Took us 4 laps to set under a 135, but not terrible. Yeah, I came into that corner and way too shallow. I'm not surprised I'm losing down this straight. That wasn't too bad. I think we were 4 or 5 tenths up on that last corner. What does it say? Oh no, 3 tenths. Okay. That's not bad. That's really not bad. I'm not disappointed with that. For the third proper lap, Oh, we're going into a slightly higher lobby, okay. It looks like a lot of people are using their manufacturer's car for this as well. There's a lot of Ferraris in here and Mercedes. This actually looks like a pretty intense lobby, to be honest, looking at the ratings. There's a lot of A-class ratings and a lot of fast B-class. I've raced Mr. Magoo before, he's quite quick. Leon, oh wow, is he fast, and Senna. Senna, we've raced before. Not on this channel. I did record a video for this channel that he was in, but we didn't get to actually upload that. It was a Spec 3 video, but I never got around to editing it. Yeah, there's some very quick guys in here. Oh wow, our practice time got us 4th for qualifying. That's not bad at all. Okay. I forgot that your practice time is qualifying time in this. It's a very bold colour Audi, isn't it? I like it though. Stands out. Pink and purple. Yes, I think this is going to be a very interesting race. We're starting in 4th with a 134.8, and our closest rival is right behind us with a 134.832, and we have an 802. So that's 0.03 of a second behind us. But looking at the grid, first place to us fits inside a 10th, a second, sorry. So it could be a fairly spread out lobby, to be honest. We just need to watch out and keep our heads on. Attending makes you beat 90% of the rivals. Just showing up, you'll beat 90% of everyone else. So as long as we survive each lap, we could be in for a win here. Because it's very easy to be taken out on this track or take yourself out, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to be sticking to race pace, not one lap shot. But a 134.8, I'm not disappointed with that. The fastest time is a 134.3, and the closest 135.3 looks like is all the way down the field. Now I'm going to switch to the radar so that for the first corner I can see exactly what's going on in front and behind and alongside. I don't believe that Porsche will have a good run on us down the straight, but looking at that Mercedes in front, they have a great pickup speed, so we could be up for a sprint down to the line and trying to hold a slipstream before the first corner. Either way, we're starting the race in a couple of seconds, so I'm going to be quiet and you guys get ready. Very slow through Senna S apparently, comparing ourselves to the top 3. However, they are going almost 3 abreast down the straight, so we should be alright here. Okay, so there we go. First lap we got 3rd position, and we're pulling a little bit of a gap. But second is also pulling a gap from us. Oh, adrenaline's gone, man. That was actually kind of crazy. Stuck around the outside of the hairpin. Not an easy corner to do that one either. Oh, I looked away from the screen. I missed my apex. Drop it down to first and just rip it out of the corner. Make sure we make our apex as well. Good spot here. Okay, so we gained 2/10 on second in that lap. Not a huge time gain, but given that we went from 6/10 up to 1.7 on fourth, that's not bad. We really need to sort out center areas. Accidentally short shifted out of one of those hairpins there. There we go. That's better. Even gaining on the leader with that one. Not a great middle sector trying to catch second here, but we managed to stay within 6/10. Managed to stay with him. It's kind of hard to go faster when you're following, but we are going faster down the straight. Stayed a little wide out of that corner. I'm not surprised that little moment there cost us a second. All in all though, not a bad race. Managed to finish in third. Now these 5-lap races aren't very eventful. So I never really expect heaps of positions, but sometimes you can get the odd jewel in here and there. Third place after starting fourth with a 4.9 second lead on fourth and 5.7 on the dude who was in fourth. Oh no, 4.9 on the dude who was in fourth. Not bad at all, not disappointed. We got a podium. Who's sad about podiums? Here we go, and a clean race. Let's quickly save that replay. And our driver rating did go up from that, so that's good. I just want to get a quick clip of that round the outside move. Right, so the next one's at 2050, but I want to do the Suzuka race next, and that has not really put us up to half, but it has gone up a little bit. We just need to chip away at this for a couple of races and we should get a slightly better driving rating. Not heaps better, but at least maybe 95 points on the table, maybe 100 if we're lucky. Right, let's go over to my items and have a look at this replay. There's a few thumbnails in there as well. Gran Turismo based thumbnails, that's me. Alright, start the replay. Yeah, let's just go from there. No. It was a little bit rough, but I think that was kind of both of us, not really me per se. I think we both kind of went a little bit deep. I went a little bit deep, he tried to turn in, I was still on the corner. But we gave each other plenty of space on that second hairpin. Either way, that's race 1 out of the way. Let's see what we can do with daily race C. Actually, we'll do another daily race B, and then I'll see how long it is until C, and we'll do a little bit of practice on there. I just want to get familiar with my car first. We've got 3 minutes until the next race. So we'll enter that race. Okay, we're still on the mediums. Yep. Alright. We'll do 1 lap and see what we can do. Alright, we've just got enough time for a lap. I wonder how close we can break to that 50 board there. I can get on the gas a lot sooner out of that corner. Did make it kind of hard to brake for that right-hander, but pretty damn close. Only 2 tenths faster, okay. Not bad, not bad. A little bit faster starting the straight, but he'll be ahead of us by the end of it. Or at least take a good chunk out of that time. 134.6, a little bit better. Oh no, it didn't load. Okay, never mind. Alright, still in a fairly quick lobby. _tune center again. Alright, so we're starting in 3rd position this time rather than 4th, so ideally a win would be good. 4 tenths faster than our best time, but the person behind us is also 4 tenths slower, so could be able to hold him off, but that's also 1 lap pace rather than race pace. Race pace is a lot more consistent. No, never mind, we're starting in 2nd. No, we are starting in 3rd. Okay, never mind. So only 4 tenths separates 1st and 3rd. So that could be a fairly tight battle, but at the same time it could also be very one-sided. 135.2 below us, and a 135.2 and a 135.2 all in the next three cars below us, and then down to a 135.3 in the mid-pack. So it looks like it's fairly balanced lobbies for the position that people are normally finishing in. So we got 4 tenths between us and first place, so that could be a 2-second lead by the end of the race for him rather than us. Alright, well, we should be alright here. We'll do our best, and we'll just, as I said before, last until the end of the race. Anything can happen. And we almost had a moment of our own in that first section, in that first race, on that first lap, on only turn 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Turn 9, my mistake. Alrighty. Let's do this thing, man! Sporting the Grease Monkey 1314 livery, or the Grease Monkey 34 rather than the 1314. There is the 1314 on the back, but that's a handle rather than an actual race number. Starting the beautiful pink and purple livery. Look at that, with the great big Grease Monkey right on the front with the big black racing stripe over the entire car, down onto the back with the big monkey and the New Zealand flag. I absolutely love it. It's a great livery. Over to the radar. Right, so they both got a good, bad run off of center S. We're going to tuck back into their slipstream because we are heavily in this battle. Braking just a little bit early. Just to keep our heads on. We're not really going to make positions in these first couple of corners, but we're definitely faster than them. Backing off a lot from second and third here, just because they're all over each other, and I could be in that battle, but I want to survive until the end of the race, as I said before. And because of how close they are, that dirty area is going to affect them a lot in these low and slow mid sections. Not really close enough for a dive bomb, but close enough to really close the gap into this first corner. Here we go. Now I can't help but notice that this Porsche actually is flashing its hazards at me, so he does want to work together. But we've got to at least get in the fight first. I didn't mean to go that deep on him. Almost having a moment there. Now we do have a good gap to fourth, but we do want to keep an eye on it as well. Because all this fighting in this upper pack can lead to fourth catching up, although we are heavily in the slipstream here and we will make the move before turn 1. tried to go for the spot there, but it just wasn't there. Just under-rotated the car out of that corner. Yeah, that's fair. I couldn't tighten the steering enough coming out of there. I really wanted that position. We ended up getting it anyway, but that's because we did kind of send him deep into the corner by going into the back of him, which isn't ideal. I do want to strategically give it back, but at the same time, we've got that position, I'm going to hold it. It's not going to be good for our safety rating, but hey, we're here for driver rating, not safety rating. Don't quote that. Yeah, we did go quite slow on that lap, but that's because I was watching my mirror more than the track. Not ideal, but... did kind of push past, but I can't argue with it given what we did on the other lap. I'm going to sit right in behind Senna's slipstream and see if we can hold on to him. If we were a bit closer, we could have gotten that, but nah. And it was a little bit of a messy race, so I I'm not surprised we didn't get that second place. That overtake wasn't clean at all. I didn't really want it after getting that, but I also didn't want to ruin my race by slowing down. Center we got past surprisingly easy on that corner. That over rotating, or sorry, under rotating the car. I tried to get the car in to turn in a little bit more. I probably could have bailed from the throttle, but because of how much more speed we had on him, I don't really want to let go of that speed and compromise the overtake. Instead, we just sent him deep into the corner. But again, not a bad race. I don't think that would have been good for our ratings, but a win, not a win, but a podium's a podium. Again, who's disappointed in that? Oh no, never mind, that did do good for our driver rating. Which we love to see. Now, I don't want to get too used to this track and have a bad race at some point, so I've got to do... Okay, there we go. We're almost halfway on half driver rating. Halfway through driver rating B, which is good. Next race is in 7 minutes. I don't really want to get a podium, so I don't really want to get a pole position. Rather, I want to fight for my win. Although 5 laps on a track like this is very difficult to do that. However, we are getting good driver rating results, given that we're getting podiums. This one would do real good. But jumping into a completely different car and going around this track and then jumping into Lagos is not a good idea. So we'll do one more into Lagos and then we might just do Spa rather than... Oh no, we will do Suzuka. How many laps? 10 laps. Was it 2 minutes 30 a lap? Or 2 minutes flat with this rather? Probably 2:10. 2:10, 10 laps, about 20 minutes. Roughly. So it'll say allow for 30 minutes at a time. 25, yep. Where's the leaderboard? Here it is. Fastest time at the moment, 1:49, even better, okay. That's a real fast time. GTR seems like the car to go with, which is the car I have, I believe. Oh, okay, never mind. I don't have a GTR. My mistake. Guess I'll have to just rent one. That's fine. This is interesting. This is very interesting. And there's wall collision penalties. Wow. What's the fastest time? 43 seconds. Yeah, everyone's choosing the WRX, makes sense. Either the WRX or the Lancer. This looks like a livery that's meant for one of the older gen Lancers. More for a Galant, to be honest. Right. I actually want to do something that would be a good idea. I want to see what one of the faster... Oh, okay, we've got the 270th fastest. Like I said, take it with a grain of salt. I don't believe that. There's an Audi up here. I want to see what his replay is, what his time is. Got to be faster because we only got 3 minutes until the entry period ends. I'm very tired. Alright, let's see what it does. No, he stays in third. That's brave. That car steps out easily like that. It's fast, but it's rough. It's fast, but it's very, very rough. Like, he's sliding into the S's, which we did for 1 second there as well. Brave soul, brave soul. Still sitting in third. It did register our time, that's good. 1:34.601 instead of a 1:34.802. I believe someone sent a message, but I missed it. I have my stream closed on my phone. But yeah, 134.6, still sitting 2/10ths behind the person in first place, who is now rocking a Citroen instead of a... Oh no. Yeah, no, he was... What was he running? A Ferrari, I think? Which was actually pretty good. He was pretty good at it. And sitting behind us are 134.6 or 134.7. So the two people behind us are very close in caliber to what we are. And the people in front are quite a bit better. I can see someone is messaging the chat, but nothing is showing up for me. Sorry, man. Or woman. Let me close my stream and reopen it. Hold on. Maybe it's my end. Going into the race. Not doing Manufacturers Cup today, but still racing as per usual. Oh no. Ah, Isaiah, how you doing? Cheers, man. I appreciate it as always. Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you, man? Yes, it is a nice livery. One of my subscribers made it for me the other day, or last night, or no, today actually. I always say the other day. It's a force of habit. No, he made it for me today. He mentioned it to me on YouTube. He tagged me in a post, and there it was. It's pretty cool. I think it's awesome. It's got the New Zealand flag underneath the monkey on the rear windshield as well, which you can't really see very well, but it's there. Dude! Okay, so that's some real clean racing from Leon there, who pushed us off the road several times, did not leave space. Managed to save the first one, but that second one there's no coming back from. All the way down in 9th now, so let's see what we can put together in 4 laps. What a great start. Okay, that was my mistake. Wow, look at all the cars. Nice. Oh wow, this race is going amazingly. That was, what a shocking race. Alright. I don't think we're getting a very good result. We kind of got taken out and our race has kind of been tanked, but that's fine. There's always a one-off somewhere. We made some good positions there on that last corner. Oh, there's another Audi. I'm sure we got pushed on the first lap intentionally. Just this Audi here just going straight on, not even attempting to make the corner. Right, now sitting up in 9th in front of Leo Fu with 4 seconds to 8th place. Not very clean off Schumacher, off Senna S, wrong track. But setting a 1:43.8 on the last. Oh no, that's slow. Thought it was a 33.8. It was a very valiant effort on that last lap, but not enough. Just wasn't quite fast enough. Almost got a purple lap there. Was 4 tenths up on the best lap by the end of sector 1, but wasn't able to stick it to the end. Absolutely tanked our race, so that Leon guy pushed us out of the way, absolutely. There is no doubt in my mind about that. It reminds me of a 2021 Brazil Grand Prix when Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton and Lewis was leading the race. Yeah. Oh, yeah, where Max Verstappen had to fight it from the back. Yeah, that was a crazy race. That's pretty much what happened here, but instead of it being qualified... Oh, we still went up in our driver rating, so that's good. Instead of it being what happened in our qualifying, it's what happened on lap 1. Let's get a replay of that. Let's get a replay of that so that we can see exactly what happened. I want to see if he pushed me off or if that was me or... Nah. I left plenty of space for him. I was on the exit. I had no more space to give. G'day, mate. You picked it up. Yes, I did. It is an amazing livery. I appreciate it very much, man. It looks great. So almost halfway up on our driver rating at the moment. 7 minutes till the next race, and I think I saw it was 7 until Daily Race C. So we're going to be doing another Interlagos just so that we can continue to get familiar with our car. Now, I want to see exactly what happened with that race, because that was very hectic. There were cars all over the place. There was an absolute cluster... No, that's not a YouTube-friendly word. There's an absolute flock of race cars. It's a flock, let's be honest. There's cars everywhere. They all have wing mirrors. Everyone's all over the place. They can't decide where to turn their heads, and they're constantly just making a ruckus. That was shockingly bad. I've never seen a race that bad. Actually, I've seen some pretty bad races, but that one's got to be in the top 10. That one's got to be in the top 10. I'm honestly stunned at how bad that went. I didn't expect to go from 3rd to 11th in one lap. It's gonna rain? Okay, yeah, I had a feeling it might be a wet race. I haven't done any practice yet. I'm gonna do that after this. Just trying to get the driver rating up so I can get more points for the board, you know? Right. Let's see how this goes. In the Grease Monkey 1314, or Grease Monkey 34 livery. I need to change it to 34, don't I? 1314 is a bit long, but at the same time, that's just what it is. I mean, too short 1314, that's been my gamer tag since I was 13 years old, so... Either way, here is the race starting in about 6 seconds, 7 seconds. I don't know, in 3 seconds. Right, so going down into turn 1, he was a very fast driver in the last race, but we managed to keep a very safe distance between first and second, and they were fighting it out on the first couple of laps. I didn't really want to get too close to them because they were really going crazy on each other, but I did manage to close the gap quite a bit throughout that race, right up until he pushed us off. So really close the gaps here into turn 4. And just holding them, coming up to the kink before you really go into the S's of Interlagos. Broke a little... Oh no, didn't break early because he tucked in, that's right. And tried to just hold it on. Gave him a little bit of a bump going into that corner, but that allowed him and I to take the lead there. And then Leon here just pushing us all over the place. No, that looked very deliberate to me. That looked very, I'm going to push this guy off. Alright, let's hang on, before we do this. Display all, okay. So, coming into the corner, he's turned across us, okay, whatever. He's gone into the back of us there because we're still going slow behind this guy. Coming out of the corner, we're on the exit. I don't think it was intentional, but we did get taken off. And there we are going across the road. That's kind of fun. Although at the same time, he's also pushing this guy out the way as well. I don't know. And then he ends up not being able to make the turn as well. And does he make this one? Oh, he manages to hold off. It's a very, very tight line into that corner there. Almost steps it out. And 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all within a couple of tenths of a second. I kind of want to see what happens with this race here. Oh, he's got a real good run on him. Oh! going almost 3 abreast into center S. Some tight racing in this lobby. Rain at the end of lap 5, then wet until the end. He scratched the damn paint. He scratched the paint! He did it on purpose as well. Some people in these lobbies. And we're all the way down here. We've already made a couple of positions by this point, I believe. So after our spin off here, we go all the way down. We were in second for a minute there. So we go all the way down to 9th here. And then we do lose a couple of positions on this last corner as well. The Beetle goes through, but that's because I had to let the Mazda and I had nowhere to come across when the Beetle was coming through. So we're now sitting in 11th place. And then on the next lap, oh no, even in here we started to close off on a couple of people. Managed to hold it on the line of center S here. Oh no, didn't. And then towards the end of the lap here, there's just a group of cars in front of us. And they all go deep into this corner because the Huracan goes into the back of the Beetle. And this was a very good move here. I liked this. So we were going to take the outside, then just flick to the left, go underneath the Ferrari, and we're behind the Lamborghini getting the slipstream, pulling down the straight, and we managed to get the slipstream on the inside coming up the straight as well. But this is where it goes kind of bad for us. We're in the slipstream coming into turn 1, and on the brakes, right behind the Lamborghini, give him a little bit of a bump draft into turn 1, go into the second section of it, start to get him on the outside, and then he comes across and takes us both out. Look at that! Look at that! Absolutely brilliant racing. Absolutely brilliant. I love these online lobbies so much. And then we went on to finish in 8th. So not a bad performance really. Not bad at all. But, yeah, not bad performance from us, but just a bad finish really. Right, have we missed our race deadline? Because I watched it. It's very close. Come on, game. Don't be slow. Don't be slow. Be fast now. Come on, be fast. Be fast. Be fast. Be fast. 20 seconds. Alright, there we go. Managed to make the deadline. So we managed to go up in driver rating anyway, so not terrible for our results, just not a great finish. We managed to go up a little bit, but it won't be a huge amount given that it was only an 8th place finish. But with the way our driver rating is going at the moment, we should be able to get a couple more points in the next Manufacturers Cup. I haven't done actual online races in a little while, so I'm not surprised that this is the way that that people are behaving on the track. Yeah, no worries, mate. I'm just going to do a couple races to try and get a couple of more points in the Manufacturers Cup in the next race, and then I'm going to be doing a little bit of practice myself. Another very tight lobby. The fastest is a 1:33.8. I don't see what the other times were. I wasn't really watching. Okay, so Leon is only 2/10 faster than us, but he is choosing different cars every race. Alright, so Isenlik set a 1:33.8, which is quite a bit faster than our lobbies. We have Rihito TL with a 1:34.2, which is 4/10 faster. Oh, well, only just 3/10 faster than us actually. Leon with a 1:34.4, which is another 2/10, and then right behind us is a 1:34.6.622 versus our 0.601. So that's very, very quick and very close to us. Tas Hanchimo is 134.7. So really what we're going to do is we're not really trying to make overtakes because there's not really a lot of space for that on the track. What we're going to try to do is we're just going to try and stick with people and hope that they go off or take each other off. We're starting in 4th, so that means we can see a lot of fighting between the top 3. But I'm more expecting 1st place to take off into the distance, and me 3rd and 2nd are the top 3, holding it out for the top position. So we'll see how it goes. This will be the last one before practice because I need to get a couple of laps in, so I'm familiar with the car, especially if it's a wet race. But sitting in a driver rating B lobby with mostly A class drivers around me, a little bit unnerving. So we got a Mercedes right in front of us. Now the Mercedes are known to have quite a fast pull-off on the straights. And we're in the Audi that is very good in the high RPM. So we're going to try and just rev the absolute tits off the side of the engine coming down the straight. Yeah, look at that Mercedes just going off into the distance. We did have 4th right behind us, but the Mercedes that went off clattered straight into him when he rejoined, so it looks like it's just us. Ah! Yeah, too much on that curb. I knew that was going to pull it around too much. I shouldn't have done it, but I did. Wow. Everyone just goes straight past us and we got reset right in the middle of the track. Ghost mode. Alright, so from 12th on the grid, let's see what we can do. We got that pace as well, so I don't think it'll be terrible. So long as we get above 8th, we should be alright. Perfect. Go, man, go. Probably shouldn't have done it there because he's going to get us on the straight, but I might just try and break the toe a little bit. Just a little bit. Shouldn't get us here. Just going to hold the inside line. Right. Now that he's broken, I'm just going to try and catch the people ahead. Let me bash out. Now I'm not surprised that we're fighting the beetle here, because I know that the beetle is actually quite dominant on this track. Mainly with it being so nimble through the axis, it can hold it around those corners quite fast. So us being in an Audi RA, we're a little bit boaty. So what I might do is I might actually let this, I might actually just give up the position, let him go past, if he can make the move. Yeah, I'm just going to let the move present itself, which he doesn't really do. And I didn't really do it very cleanly, but it has given us... Oh, life is starting to fall back. We might actually just be able to pull him off. Wait. That's the other big thing, it's just straight up surviving this race, because this track is very unforgiving. But we have caught up quite a few other people, and we are in the slipstream of this Porsche just in front of us. However, the Beetle is very much in our slipstream as well. I think he's waiting for an opportunity to go on the people in front of us, which is why he hasn't made a move on us just yet as well. I'm really starting to get a gain on this Porsche here. Oh my god, and I dropped it on center S. Oh, we were actually doing alright there and then I just bottled it. Right, so we're not going to have a great position. We were doing alright there, but I just tried a bit of a different line because I went way too deep into turn 1 of center S. That's fine, we've had a couple of podiums and we've had a couple of good results, so I think we'll go practice Spa once we finish this race. We'll at least bring it across the line even if it's only 11th. But we've done alright. What are our sector times? I want to see how we do on this lap. Yeah, I thought we'd have dirty tyres going into that corner. And no penalty, okay. Makes sense. So we're going to finish in 12th because the penalty doubles when you go across the line if you haven't saved it. That's fine. There's always at least one throwaway race. Mostly on our own accord, but that's fine. Alright, so a bit of a mediocre finish, but not dead last, so not all bad. Yeah, driver rating got hit a little bit there, but I don't think it was tanked too much. I don't think it would have been. Alright, so we'll do about 20 laps of Spa, and then I think that's it for the stream tonight. It's just a small one, just to get a little bit of a better driver rating, just so that we get more points in the race on Wednesday. Yeah, so we're still better than we were when we started the stream. As much as it may not look like it, and it may look like a small amount, that should be about 95-ish points per race. But if this is a wet race, I would like to do some practice. Spa in the wet is a very treacherous track. A very treacherous track, I should say. Oh, it doesn't look like it's heaps of rain. Is that a bigger spot? No, okay. The rain is quite tame. Like, there's a few spots on the radar, but nothing ridiculous. Right, we need to keep it off the turf in the wet. That stuff gets slippery. Almost had our braking point perfect on the first corner. Right, do we think we need to lift? Means thinks yes. Well, if we go that wide now. We've got to sort that one out. Look at that very rectangular patch of rain on the radar. That's barely even intermediate maybe. Is it? I think so. Yeah, about lap 5. That sounds about right. Not a very quick lap. Still only a super lap though. Nope. Do need a lift. Yeah, I know. Oh wow, I'm driving terribly. I'm a little far from the wheel, but I shouldn't be driving this bad. Right, let's just retry. Got a couple of sneaky laps out. Sometimes you just got to come off the track to know how to stay on the track, you know? Better. Much better. Oh, way too late on the brakes. Yeah, I knew that would happen. I must have had a really fast second sector. Oh, that's wrong. It's alright. Not bad. 3 seconds faster. Oh yeah, on the gas too early. Oh. Like I said, this track can bite very, very easily. Gets the best of us. What is that? Give me a second. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, since we just spun on turn 1, let's just restart. Easy stuff. Yeah, I think I just grabbed too much throttle while I was still turning. Let's just leave that on. Now the ghost is offset by half a second, so if I get my nose in front of his, then we're up by half a second. Ah, you could do a rouge flat. You need to tidy it up, but it is flat. Ah! Yep, it's always that second gear change when you pull out of a corner in first. It's fine. You shift to second, and the ratio changes a lot, and the steering has to be a lot wider when you're shifting into second. I keep forgetting to open the steering when shifting into second. On every track. I do it on every track. Not every track, but more often than I'd like to admit. Not good to hit the rubber pylons on your inside of a corner. They actually are physical on this track. You can hit them and go slower. It's not quite. I think it is flat now. I just need to tidy that up. I thought I was on the limits, but alright. Fine, we'll just do a lap anyway. Managed to pull a bit of time back on that lap. Yeah, tidy. Somehow losing time, but whatever. Oh, I think we're losing time on my previous lap time, not my ghost. I'm really not driving good at the moment. I've also set the ghost so that his position resets every time I go through a sector. We lost a second by the end of that. I needed to be on the gas so much sooner than that. Oh, I didn't need a limit bash there. Alright, so I lost a 10th in the last chicane, but got a proper best time for today's session rather than this actual lap session. Terrible ruddy on. Too much curb there. Yeah. Alright. No, I'll do a couple more laps. I want to actually get some practice for this lap. I'm not doing that great at the moment, but that's why we do practice. I'm going to get a half-second penalty for that corner cut as well. Yeah. Almost lost it there. Just taking a cruisy lap at the moment. Taking it easy. Oh, you can do foot flat on that last corner there. I wonder if I can break at the 125 board, which isn't a thing. But in my head, it's about 1/4 of the way between the 100 board and the 150 board. No, halfway. I think I can break later into that last chicane. I'm going to give it a go on this lap. I'm not going to do heaps of laps of practice for this because I do have work tomorrow. And I might do a couple tomorrow rather than today, but... Nah, that's a penalty. Right, yep. So I don't think I'm going to do many more practice laps today. I've already done a little bit of daily racing and I'm kind of tired if I'm being honest. But 2:19.4, I don't think that's a very bad lap. We didn't get to see what our consistent lap times are, but I'll come back and do that tomorrow. I'll do about 20 or 30 laps maybe, just to get a bit of an idea of where we're sitting. On the leaderboard, we're sitting with the 1700th fastest time. I don't imagine many people would have been doing this, but this track has been available to practice on since Saturday. And this is my first time touching it on a Monday, and that's actually not a very bad time. We're only 3.4 seconds off the fastest time in the world, and with us being in a slow state of mind at the moment and not being very quick or smooth, I feel like there's a lot of time to find. Similar to what he has, but for now I think we're actually doing alright. There's also a few R8s I'm seeing on the leaderboard here, so I imagine that this car with a very high top speed would be very, very good for this race. I don't know how many other R8s there are. Okay, never mind, there aren't actually that many, but there's also not that many R8s this season in general. But with that lap time there, I'm actually pretty happy, given that it's put us in the top 2000. So I think we'll come back tomorrow and we'll do a couple of consistent laps and see what our race pace is rather than our one lap shootout. If our one lap shootout is a 2:19.4, that should put us somewhere between 2nd and 5th in our lobbies, based on what I've seen in terms of global ranking to be rated qualifying times. But I also know that Spa is a track that I'm generally, not today, but generally pretty good at. I'm just a little bit outdriven. I've already done 166 kilometers after doing a little bit of my own thing after work. But yeah, like I said, with that performance, I'm not too disappointed. Might have a quick look at Data Logger to see if there's a couple of laps that I can maybe work on or a couple of corners. I know that I need to work on. I know Lacombe chicane I've got down pretty hard. You just got to be very gentle on the throttle. But the fast sweeping left, I don't remember what it's called. You got to downshift into third, and you got to keep it real good. But I don't know where the exact brake point is. That's the thing. I don't know about any of the brake. I've got rough brake markers, but that's because I've been doing this track since I was about 13, 14 years old. On and off, obviously. But if we go to the 2:21, which had some really fast times actually, so Blue is leading out of Radion, but only by a tenth, and isn't really gaining any time. We actually end up holding that time right up to Eau Rouge. But then the blue time manages to get it, because I do remember that the blue time had a much tidier line through there. Alright, let's go down here. Alright, so if I want to, let's have a look at that again. Okay, so going into the Lacombe chicane, under the braking we're 145 ahead, 0.145, but we're a lot smoother on the throttle than yellow is, and we do gain a little bit of time out of that corner. How much time are we ahead by coming out of the chicane? Almost 2 tenths and gaining, but the throttle pattern is very similar. Now in this one, we're 3 tenths ahead, holding a half throttle for a bit of it, and then going full throttle, losing a little bit of speed, and then Okay, that's very, very smooth throttle onto that straight leading up to, I forget the name, but I know the name. This left-hander that we're going through right now. Track map's over here for anyone wondering if you know what the track looks like. Blue just has much smoother throttle control. My throttle control has gotten a bit better over time as well as it is. I want to see what the braking input is like. It's starting to look a lot better if I'm being honest. There's not many braking points. Alright, so our main corners are this one here. This section needs to be sorted out. I'm normally pretty good at that, but that one definitely needs some work. And down here. So this one, because this is a real fast corner and you lose a lot of time on that exit coming into this corner here. And it's also what sets you up for an accurate braking point on this corner here. Then I want to keep a shallow line. I'm going to switch over to driving line here actually. Alright. So yeah, I want to switch back quite tight. And then I want to hold a wide line on the blue line and come across slowly but fastly. That blue had a way tighter apex on there, which made it a lot easier to get a good exit out of this corner. I'm pretty sure we got a really good exit. Yeah, with 6/10s, and we also come in quite quickly because that's where we gain a lot of time. Yes, we did have a penalty to serve on the lap that I've got loaded at the moment, but on that line, that's how you get the fastest a faster straight. You cut the distance that you need to drive. And coming into here, went up to 1.8. Now yellow had a wider berth, which did shave off a little bit of time, but something happened on the exit. Which one is it that had, I know one of these had a really I'm pretty sure this one we did a real, let's just speed through real quick. Oh yeah, that's when we had our accident. I'm pretty sure we had a really good last hairpin on this lap. How did this one do? So into this corner, yellow actually had a faster time than blue. So the blue time had a very bad section here, but managed to set up a better, so sacrificed that apex and then got a better exit off the second one, because we were set up, but at the same time that's not really what you want to do. Either way, coming down the straight, yep, losing time, 7.1, coming through the tight left-hander, yep, 7.2 into the braking zone, and, oh no, yellow was a very similar driving line, so this one had a wider exit, and the wider exit is quite a bit slower. I don't know if we need to cut back, like, quite, I don't know how far we need to cut back in this one, because some things I see, you need to cut back kind of down here and then shoot up. But with this line, we're kind of making an S. I want to make more like what looks like a really lazily written N, pretty much. But that's a problem for tomorrow. For today, I don't think that's a very bad time. It's put us in the top 2,000. We did get a few penalties, we did come off a few times, but that's because we just came from a very different track and we're not quite used to this one, so for what we did, I'm not too disappointed. Now, either way, if you guys did enjoy this live stream, you know exactly what to do. There's 3 buttons down there. I want you to go to press them all, the like button, the sub button, and the notification button, so that you never miss one of our live streams and so that you stay up to date with the Manufacturers Cup Series as it is going. Currently, we are sitting 354th in the region, and we are sitting 14th in the manufacturers, so we have very high stakes into the next race. We do have a chance to be in the top 300, maybe the top 250, depending on how far up we get. I would very much like to get the top 250 in the next race, which is why I did a couple of daily races today to try and get a better driver rating. But either way, very big race coming up, potentially a wet race. It looks like it might just be mild drizzle. We didn't really stay on track long enough to see what the track evolution is going to be, but that is a problem for tomorrow, as I mentioned before. But either way, we're saying the whole, sell out YouTuber stuff, like, sub, share, comment, blah, 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 blah. I hope you did enjoy the live stream, whether you told me through those buttons or not. And I shall see you all in the next one. Peace out, Grease Monkeys.